Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call today. If you would, just give us your thoughts on your spring practice, your spring game, and maybe an early look at how you shape up for the 2017 season, please.
Well, I thought we had a good spring ball. I thought our energy level was good. We had guys flying around. I think we've got guys competing for spots, and I think that's the biggest key to it all is just the competition at spots. Guys understanding that as they step out on the practice field that I've got to perform at a high level if I want to win this job. Obviously, we're losing some pretty key guys off of last year's team, so we've tried to set a standard here and continuing to try to raise that bar, and those guys understand the process that it goes through to try to reach those things. And so I was excited about the way we worked, excited about the direction of our program, understanding we have a ton of work to do. Again, we've got big shoes to fill as guys have graduated and moved on, and so these young guys have got to step in here and be ready to play when the lights flick on. So again, competition level was great. Energy level was great. Now we got to finish up class, do well there, and have a great summer and fall camp.
Take questions for Coach Montgomery, please. Star 1 on your telephone keypad to join the queue. Then the operator will introduce you.
And we'll hear from Dan Tortora with WakeUpCallDT.com.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you?
I'm good, Dan. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for asking. To come off of and obviously continue through here this spring, the notes from the quarterbacks that you've had and what you can say up to this point from the beginning to where they kind of stand right now as you look for that next leader.
Yeah, we got two guys that have really kind of separated themselves that are kind of vying for the job. Those guys have kind of been neck and neck all the way through spring ball. One will have a good day. The next one will have a better day the day after. So I love the competition that we've got. We've got to do a good job of putting them in situations that really fit their skill sets. That's our job of making sure that we're giving them those opportunities and then filling in guys around them that can make plays. So as far as our quarterback position goes, it's still up in the air. Those guys are going to compete for it throughout the summer and fall camp. And, as we get closer to game time, hopefully one of those guys will separate himself more than the other, and we'll be able to make that determination and move forward.
When you look at both of them, more specifically on their talent levels and their abilities right now, what have you seen from both of them separately that has kind of caught your eye and shown you that this is going to be obviously a competition that'll be heated all the way through?
Yeah, we're going to be young at the cornerback spot. Don't have a ton of experience that's coming back in that instance. So those guys, I thought this spring really did a good job of controlling things on the field, controlling the huddle. Not that we're in a huddle very often, but being able to really manage what we want to do offensively. I thought they really got into their playbook and have a good understanding of what we're trying to accomplish and having their eyes in the right spot. But there's just a lot of things going on. So it's being able to manage those things, keep us out of those critical negative plays, keep those chains moving forward, and do a good job of distributing the football and letting guys around them make plays. That's our biggest emphasis right now as we're coming out of spring.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
And next we'll move to Guerin Emig with Tulsa World.
Hey, Phil, I wanted to get your thoughts on the approval by the NCAA Division I Council to give you guys a 10th assistant beginning in 2018. How big a deal is that to you?
Yeah, it's a huge deal. I mean, when you're dealing with the number of kids that we're dealing with and having another guy that is going to be able to be active on the field, do the things that we got to do from a practice standpoint, from a game standpoint, that's a big plus. Also having another guy out on the road as far as recruiting and being able to hit the number of schools and be able to evaluate talent better, evaluate kids better, do a better job of gaining background on them prior to bringing them into your program. I think all of those things are positive. I can't think of one negative thing about adding the 10th assistant. For us, I think it's going to be a big deal, just like it is across the country, and giving guys opportunities to really step in and make a difference in your program in a lot of different ways.
Have you decided how you'll specifically apply that in terms of job responsibility or position he'll be responsible for?
Yeah, I'll probably add it on the offensive side. That'll make us equal. I've got 5 defensive guys. That'll give me 5 offensive guys. And so we already kind of balance out what we do from a special team standpoint. So right now, the way I'm looking at it would be able to add an additional coach on the offensive side.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And next we'll move to Shannon Green with Orlando Sentinel.
Hi, Coach Montgomery. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Coach, I wanted to get your thoughts on the early signing period that seems to be becoming a reality for you guys. What are your thoughts on that? Is it mostly a pro, or are there some challenges that it presents?
Well, I think it's both. I was actually for the early signing period. I like the December signing period part of it. And I really, for me personally, I didn't want to change anything else. Leave the official visits the way they were. You've got to work the strategies on how you're going to use that part of it. But I like just moving and having the early signing date and not changing anything else. Now, with the addition of having official visits, from April to, kind of the last part of there of June, that's going to be some trial and error for us. As you're looking at kids and generating how you want to use that official visit, we've got to kind of play hit and miss with it and figure out what's the best strategy for us at our university when you're trying to implement those new standards. So we'll kind of go through that. For us, you got to do a great job of evaluating kids' transcripts and things like that. And, a lot of times in their junior year, you don't have all that information yet. So hopefully that's going to spur kids on to making sure that you've already got test scores and those things taking place, and you got a better feel for where they are academically as well as where they are athletically.
How difficult as a recruiting process is it to really judge a kid's character?
Well, I think it's difficult, but I think if you do your homework and you do a good job of getting to know him and the people around him and whether that be his parents, grandparents, guardians, coaches, counselors, teachers, just doing a good job of trying to, bounce ideas off of people, get a feel for who he is, and then get to know him on a personal level. To me, recruiting is all about relationships, and the stronger bonds you build with those student athletes, the better feel you have of how they're going to be when you get them on in your program and on your campus. So there's no perfect way to do it. I think our coaches do a great job of it. We got to continue to keep growing and developing in that area.
Also, I think there's 5 new coaches this year in the AAC. Last year, I believe it was 4. With so many new coaches coming in, how much does that keep you on your toes when you're having to sort of relearn a new system that they might be using that the previous coach didn't use?
Yeah, it's difficult. You don't have any tendencies on anybody. I think I'm the 3rd longest tenure coach in this league right now behind Ken and Chad, and I'm starting my 3rd season, and I think Chad's like a week or so ahead of me. So it's an ever-revolving door, and guys as they get into new positions, you've got to get a feel for what they're going to do from an offensive and defensive standpoint schematically, and then how that's going to affect how you attack them. So each and every year it's something new. And so we just got to continue to keep doing a good job of evaluating and schematically coming up with plans each week that we feel like, we can implement that'll help.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, thanks so much for the time today. Enjoy the off season, and I look forward to catching up with you again in the summer.
All right. Thank y'all.
All right.